fusion of anime art style with roguelike elements was initially what had me interested in Zengeon. I don't usually see this combination, but it's a genre that I enjoy sinking hours into. From the significant amount of replayability to the high degree of player agency, the genre boasts several elements that make it an addicting time. That is, unless you're Zengeon.
突然，天降黑火，击碎结界。
Zengeon has players choose between 6 playable characters. Though the option to play most of the cast unlocks as progression is made, each character fights in distinct ways, which makes the choice matter. This is a basic, necessary design decision, yet the execution of the core gameplay makes any individuality between the playable characters a moot point. Players explore and battle across varied linear set pieces that usually just alter an aesthetic. Upgrades and power-ups are found from opening treasure chests with currency obtained from destroying enemies and the environment. Alongside a standard attack, there are also special attacks that can be used with cooldown timers. However, the performance of the Switch version is not good. While it is serviceable when simply walking around to reach the next batches of enemies, the frame rate dips significantly when fighting hordes, which most of the experience tends to be. To be blunt, I often had difficulty knowing where I was at points during these messy encounters. In addition, my character avatar was blocked from sight while enemies cluttered the screen considerably. This fall was present in both docked and handheld mode. Moreover, I consider myself to be at least decent at the genre, but I believe Zengeon was almost exclusively designed with cooperative play in mind. Yes, players can choose to play with others, and I'm sure that it offers an enjoyable time. Unfortunately, the difficulty seems to lean with multiplayer as a base. When beginning runs, I always was faced with 2 extremities. I would either die in less than a minute from being bombarded with attacks, or I would camp by spamming special skills whenever they were available and reach the end of the run. Funny enough, the boss battles are shockingly mindless and straightforward when compared with the constant waves of mobs that spawn. There's a lack of invincibility frames as well, or they are just too brief to be noticeable, so if you happen to get hit while in a group, losing vast amounts of health is likely the outcome. As for the story and dialogue, they are essentially tossed to the side and do the bare minimum. For instance, when beginning a playthrough, the chosen character will speak to the master, Nanzi, and his dialogue is mostly identical no matter which playable character is chosen. Of course, given the genre at play here, having no strong narrative pushing events forward is acceptable. Still, when coupled with the lackluster performance and questionable gameplay, the other faults are amplified tenfold, blatantly highlighting the lack of value this package contains. Lastly, there is no saving system or checkpoints while in the middle of a run. If this title was more tightly designed, with fairer consequences and smoother movements, this would make progression tenser, but as it stands, it makes the game increasingly frustrating. I know I'm coming off as overly pessimistic, and I apologize for that, but Zengeon fails when executed in almost every way possible. The variety of playable characters is neat and the co-op feature is nice, but I can't see myself recommending this game. After playing, players will swiftly notice the inept synergy between the combat mechanics alongside the mangled performance and atrocious enemy frequency. There are plenty of other roguelikes out there, and I promise that any one of those is likely better worth your time than Zengeon. Noisy Pixel is giving Zengeon a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.